Well, hello there. This is Zach with Bayou Donkey. Guess what? I finally got my boat back. Picked it up yesterday evening. Got it in the driveway. Got to load it with all the stuff that's supposed to go in it. And put my trolling motor back on it. And look to have a weekend of fishing if the weather cooperates. So let's see what happens. Also, I wanted to tell you a fishing story. So back when I was young, my father and I would, anytime we were together, we would actually go fishing. And we didn't have a boat or anything, so we would go to different places and fish from the bank, fish from the bank in different ponds and things like that. So this one particular spot we went to was off of Highway 341. Strike that. It was actually on US 17, headed towards Darien. And of course this was in Glenn County, Georgia, on the coast. And so they actually had, in Hoffel Plantation, they actually had a series of dikes that would create these water holes, these waterways. And some of the waterways always had water in them, and some of the waterways would be flooded in the winter for ducks, waterfowls. And so what we would do is we would go fishing in these holes over there. And sometimes we catch, sometimes we wouldn't. But this one particular time, my dad was actually using a, and the way these holes are, you've got dikes that are built up, and you kind of fish down, and then there's reed grass all the way around them. So you're fishing over the reed grass, and sometimes the reed grass was pretty tall, but you would cast out and fish these little channels. So he was fishing a channel, but he had a broken back jitterbug, the big one, and so he was catching some bass on that thing. But the thing is, you fish that jitterbug close to the edge, and then you have to reel and snatch, and get your lure out so you won't lose it in the grass or in treetops and things like that. So I don't know whether he had a fish or he was trying to get the lure up, but he snatched it and the lure came straight to his face. And if you know, those jitterbug, those treble hooks are pretty large. And so he threw his hand up in defense, and it planted those treble hooks into the palm of his hand. And I think it was probably the meat of his hand or his base of his thumb. And so I was probably 5 or 6, 7, somewhere along in there. And as you know, the fishing trip was over at that point. And so we lived in Brunswick, I think it was. And so we had quite a drive to get back to Brunswick. And when we got back to Brunswick, I think he had 2 treble hooks that were buried into his hand. And the nerve-wracking thing was when we got back, we didn't go to the emergency room. My stepmother, Paula, actually cut those out of his hand. Oof, boy, I knew that was. And I remember his hand being purple, but not from a bruise or anything. It was from that purple methylate. I know it set him on fire. So we'd always put that purple disinfectant on our dogs too. So I know, Dad, if you listen to this, I hope you remember that, because it was, I know it hurt you, but it hurt me too. It hurt because the fishing trip was cut short. Oh, the memories and the stories. Well, we get our boat back this weekend, and hopefully we'll get some good video of fishing or something. Some good video. How about that? Let's start with that. And just take care of yourselves. Stay healthy, and I'll see you soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.